Though you're past your baby days, still you got those baby ways. You're as bashful every time when I'm with you. Though you're fond of me, you say, still you keep me far away. Oh, why can't we love just like other sweethearts do?
Well, it's the celebration of my birthday, which was on Tuesday. And I'm a nonagenarian. You know what a nonagenarian is? 90 years old. I was born on the 18th of October, 1926, in St. George, Utah. And then we moved to Draper, and then from there, Draper, we had a calamity and our house burned down, and so my father was getting ready to go into town with my mother. In his car, he usually had to add some oil to it before he left, and he had the oil heating up on the stove, and it caught on fire and burned the house down. I graduated from high school in 1945, just as the war was ending, and I got drafted. So I spent my time in Germany, which I wanted to do for some reason. I wanted to be an engineer, I thought, and so I got in the Corps of Engineers, and they were convinced that I needed to be a medic, and so they made me a medic, and I worked in the hospital and other things. People showed up for sick call, I would take care of them. And so at one time I was going to change and be a physician. And then after spending that time in the hospital, I didn't want to do that. But we met, it was about 2 years after I got home from the Army. At that time I was working at a place called Dugway, which is out in Tooele County. I'd work like 40 hours straight for a couple of days that week, and we'd go on a date, and we ended up going to Lagoon this one time. And we went on the merry-go-round, and I fell asleep. I about fell off the merry-go-round. Yeah. And we got married in January 1952. It'll be 65 years in January. We used to go to the temple every Friday night. We'd go to the temple. That was our date night because we couldn't afford to do anything else. Larry was born in our first year in graduate school. In October 1952. I was taking an exam the next day, and I was up all night in the hospital with her. And so I called my professor and said, what do I do about this? I wasn't able to take that test. And he said, well, I'll just double your score on your next test. And I got 97% on that one. Worked out pretty good. And then, so Larry was born, and I used to take him over to my lab, and when he was 4 years old, and he'd get a little experience in chemistry that way. So.
I think he gave me a priesthood blessing before Larry was born. That we did that with most of the children. So we had 8 children. And we had a boy and a girl, and then the next ones were a boy and a girl. And then the next one that came, we told them that it was a boy, and they said, no, it's not a boy.
No, you skipped one. Johnny was a boy, and then that's when Bobby was born.
Oh, okay.
He was supposed to have been a girl. So. And they wouldn't believe me when I told them it was a boy. So we had Larry and Karen when we lived in Delaware. Friends of ours knew them, and then a few years later, they came out to visit us. They saw our next two kids, and they looked just like Larry and Karen did when he knew them. And he thought, didn't these kids grow up?
What is if you can just recall a happy moment from your life? You can...
No. They've all been good, I think. So.
Yeah, they have. My happy moments were when my babies were born. They just having them in my arms, that made me feel grown up, and they cared about me and I cared about them.
Yeah.
And they still care about me.
Yeah, they take good care of us. So, and looking back, I never thought that I would live to see get beyond the year 2000, and so here I am, nearly 20 years later. So we'll see what happens, where we go from here.